Hey everybody, time for a vinyl, boring collection, setup, whatever. So, I'm gonna get through all my records, which I don't have that many, but I have, I'd say, more than most. I got a good stack of vinyl, so let's go through it. First, before I get into the collection, I'll quickly cut to me about 5 minutes ago showing off my setup, which is actually pretty legit, so there that is. Alright, sorry everyone for the very bad sound quality now, because my mic is over there, and I'd have to hold it while holding the phone, and I'm not doing that. So you have to deal with the bad sound quality. Anyway, I just want to show you my vinyl setup, which is a bit of a mess. Look at this dust. Okay, this is a whammy bar for my PRS. Look at this dust. I'm not sure if it'll fit. Look at that. I got these. I got this vinyl setup from my brother-in-law. He's like a real big vinyl guy, like total vinyl freak or whatever. He's got a huge collection. And one year for Christmas, he said, "Look, I'm gonna get you a really good turntable, amplifier, and speakers because the one I had at the time was really bad. Because it was one of those ones you could buy for like $100 down at your local department store." So so he got me this, and then it took me a few months because I couldn't figure it out. See, I would not be able to do any of that. Look at that. Oh god, I'm so disgusting. Wait, look at that. I can't do that kind of stuff. All this kind of stuff at the back. I couldn't do that. So I came around like a few months later and did it. And anyway, and apparently like these are studio grade speakers. Apparently like he got from some sort of a studio somewhere, and these are vintage like stuff from like probably like the 80s or something. So Mission speakers. Alright, this is pretty cool. Not part of the setup, obviously. This is a Darth Vader CD player I got when I was like 10. That's really cool. Anyway, this amplifier is a NAD something or other. I don't know how the shit works. I just play it and it sounds good. So that's kind of how I go. And this is a silver stereo turntable system, model whatever. And ooh, I could probably clean this a bit. And yeah, this had this had this over top of it, which could also use a clean. But I didn't like doing that because whenever I wanted to change the record or put it over to side 2, it took forever. So it took forever because I had to hold it up. I couldn't it wouldn't just stay in place, so I had to hold it up, so I just ended up taking it off to make it easier. Anyway, this is usually where I sit, like right here where I sit, right in front of these two speakers. And then I listen to my music when I listen to records. And usually I have some reading materials, like right here. That's what I'm going through at the moment. And yeah, the Replacements, as you may or may not know, are my favorite band of all time. And I'm reading through this because I want to do a Replacements retrospective one day. So it's kind of been through a little bit of abuse because I don't treat my stuff that kindly. And yeah, so this is where I listen to my records and my first ever guitar, in case you gave a shit. Something I use to clean records. Another thing I use, wax wash, is something I got for free one day. And yeah, that's my setup. A little bit janky, but that's the way I like it. Okay, so we're back, and sorry for the bad sound quality, but I don't have to bring that mic over there, because I'm lazy. Anyway, so first record, alright, this took me like 20 minutes to start all my vinyl in a sort of organized fashion, so anyway. We'll start off with some records I actually care about, because I actually have a good chunk of records that I don't care about, because they're hand-me-downs. Anyway, so The Doors' Greatest Hits. Everybody knows this record. It's a best of, but a pretty definitive best of, I would say. It's a two discs. I think it's a gatefold actually. It's a gatefold. It's got a great picture of him and a little bit of a write up. And yeah, like not really much I have to say. I mean, like Doors classic material. And this is something my mother bought right after she saw the Doors movie from like 90, 91 with Val Kilmer. She went out and bought this, and it's actually in pretty decent condition. So, yeah, pretty cool. Then we have Blondies, Parallel Lines. This is a great record. I don't talk about Blondie a whole lot just because I haven't had a chance to yet. But, yeah. This is the 180 gram that came out a few years ago, or whatever. And, it's It's got my favorite Blondie song, even though it's a cover, Hanging on Telephone. That's a great fucking song right there, even though it's a cover. But that's like one of my favorite covers. I mean, Heart of Glass, that's a great bit of disco. Fucking Picture This, Fade Away and Radiate. That's a really underrated track. So yeah, classic record. Listen to it. Alright, now this showcases the perils of buying online. Because I'm not sure if that'll show up on camera. Actually, might not. Let me take the protective shit off it. You see that? They said this was in good condition. Yeah, that's more bullshit. I mean, I got it for fairly cheap. I guess I can't complain. But this is kind of Blondie's Music from the Elder, if that makes any sense. Very weird. Their concept record, this is the last thing they put out before they broke up and didn't get back together for like a decade or so. But it's not too bad. It's kind of weird though. Like Island of Lost Souls is just weird. You know, I like Dragonfly and War Child and stuff. It's got good material. I don't know. I think I want to make a video about this one day, just because it's like so bizarre. It's a weird piece of history, and also just look at that cover. That is ridiculous. And before we get into the rest of the records, which I actually care about, we'll go through some records I don't care about, just because they're like hand-me-downs and just stuff I was given for free. And and probably piss off some people, but whatever. I never listened to them, so. Pink Floyd. I'm not a Pink Floyd fan. Yet I have like 5 of their records. And they're all in good condition. Was I Wish You Were Here? The Final Cut. A Momentary Lapse of Boredom. Animals. I actually listened to this once or twice. I don't mind this one. This is pretty decent. Honestly, it would do me good to just maybe listen to them more. Maybe that's the thing to get me more into Pink Floyd, but only time will tell. I might just end up selling this. I might just end up selling them to a friend of mine. So, the Woodstock album. There's supposed to be 3 discs. I only have 2. I mean, I got it for free. I can't really complain, but yeah, it's whatever. It's in such bad condition though. It's really fucked up. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Though I've never listened to it because I don't really care. But one thing I do like about it is because it's old records, and I love old records mainly because just because of the smell. Like, that sounds weird, but like smell of old vinyl, old books, because the paper and cardboard have had time to age. I love the smell. It smells like I'm in an old like bookshop or something. I love it. Even though new vinyl usually sounds better, so 180 gram, it sounds much better. I'm not gonna deny that, but I like the experience of putting on an old record more, at least a little bit. A couple of Elvis ones. What's this? Blue Hawaii. So I've never listened to it. I like Elvis, but not enough to listen to a full LP. Another Elvis. Elvis sings love songs. I mean, isn't that what he did throughout his whole career anyway? More Fat Elvis. You'll Never Walk Alone. That's something I've heard from my mother. Weird band called Dad. I think like glam metal or some shit. Really weird. I've only ever listened to like one song off YouTube, and I've never actually put this on ever, but I have it. Lenny Kravitz. I don't like Lenny Kravitz, so anyway. Cherry Pie by Warrants. Now, Warrants aren't a great band, but they have some good songs. Like Uncle Tom's Cabin, I think, is a great song. The rest of it, not so much. And what's another song they did? Machine Gun. Machine Gun. That was like them trying to be Slave to Grand Skid Row. That's actually that's a good song too. Poison, Flesh and Blood. Fuck Poison. Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell in very bad condition. I'm not sure if you can tell. There's a lot of like, it's like sleeves basically being torn up. Striper, Soldiers Under Command. Fuck Striper. Poison, Open Up and Say Ah. Poison once more. Look what the cat dragged in. It's the last Poison record. Look what the cat dragged in. This actually has... This is the most tolerable Poison record, I would say. What? I know it's at least one song. I like the title track. The title track's actually pretty decent. I don't mind that one. Pat Benatar Live. I Do Not Care. Slaughter. Once More. I Don't Care. Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. Don't care. Bon Jovi again, New Jersey. Once More. I Don't Care. So that's the end of all my... What the fuck? There's a guitar pick in the fucking... in the sleeve. How? Alright, so... Now we got through all the records I really don't hate. Well, the first few I do like, but... those ones I just... whatever. So anyway, let's get to the next one. The next one is... The Misfits Walk Among Us. This is a great record. I basically said all I need to say. My Misfits were the best. But yeah, and this is I think this is an original pressing too, which is makes this fairly worth a pretty penny. It's even got like the original like shrink wrap on it. Obviously, though, someone's opened it, and I know someone's opened it because we open it up. Wait, let me actually show you. It's got the original inner sleeve too. Look at that. Great shit. But I know it's been opened because the record in there is Evil Live. Why? I mean, I got it for free. Once again, can't really complain. And it's probably a good thing that it is Evil Live, because if it was Walk Among Us, I'll listen to it way more. And I want to keep this in best condition as I can, even though I know it's not really worth a whole lot, but it's a cool piece of history. And even then, Evil Live, not a bad live record. Lou Reed, New York. I listened to this like once. I don't know, I'm not huge on it. And I used to hate Lou Reed. I don't hate Lou Reed anymore. I think he does have some good stuff. Transform is a pretty decent album. But this, I don't know, I guess I should probably have to live with it a bit more. Ooh, it's a good one. Dag nasty, can I say. This is great fucking melodic hardcore. The beginnings of emo, along with like Rites of Spring and stuff. And this is Dave Smalley, who would later be in All. And Brian Baker, who was in Minor Threat, and he would later join Bad Religion. And this is like his in-between. I like this more than Minor Threat and most Bad Religion. This is really good stuff. This is what Brian Baker can do when he's not either playing just bass or with another guitar player. So, great stuff. And the song Circles, which is their most popular song, which is a song that Tom DeLonge from Blink-182 says really inspired him. So, we have them to thank. Great record. Quite Right, Metal Health. Now, this is actually a double thing. I bought Metal Health, but I got this a few years later. This is like a tour double 7-inch. What it's got? First one's Metal Health and Love's a Bitch, a live version. Second one is Come On Feel the Noise and Let's Go Crazy live version. I can actually put this on because I don't really care for 7 inches too much, but I don't know. Cool thing to have. Something I guess they only sold on tour or something, so yeah, whatever. It's cool. Quite Right, they get a lot of shit, and some of it's deserved, but this is a great album. This is a great album. Second side kind of teeters off by the end with Let's Get Crazy, Battle Axe, but Breathless is a great song, Love's a Bitch a great song, the title track, Don't Want to Let You Go. I think it's a good album. And two halves of this band is dead. Kevin DeBro and Frankie Banali died not too long ago, so rest in peace. Great record. This is the only Quite Right album worth buying, though. Everything else is pretty bad. Next one, David Bowie, Let's Dance. Not huge on it. I love David Bowie, but I don't know. Not really a big fan of his synth pop period. I mean, it's good, but it's not really my bag when it comes to 80s pop music. There's other things I like better. So this is a Vicious Vinyl compilation. One of the few compilation records I own. And something my mother bought years ago. Look at that album cover. That's so great. Yeah, so Judas Priest, Warlock, AC/DC, Cinderella, Girl School, Loudness, Wasp. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff on this, but I rarely listen to it because if you look on the back, see how many fucking songs I put onto each side, so it doesn't really sound that good. But, I don't know, cool thing to have. Alright, and then we got Van Halen, Diver Down. Yeah, I made a video about this. Great album. I think very underrated. Yeah, just Diver Down. If you want my thoughts more in depth, you can go watch my video. Then we have the first Van Halen album in beat to shit condition. Again, be weary of people on eBay. Ooh, look at that spine. Ooh, that spine seems better days. But, man, was it Gatefold? Pretty cool stuff. I don't think I've ever really listened to it just because I bought it at a time where I wasn't even listening to vinyl. I just saw this at a pretty cheap price. And the guy was in Brazil. I bought it from a guy in Brazil, not my proudest moment. And he sent it in a pizza box. I don't know either. And ooh, God, this is in terrible condition. It's poking out the side, the record. Yeah, not Not a great thing to own, I guess. I don't know. I want to get this on a 180 gram one these days. Okay, then we got Faith No More, The Real Thing. I actually have 2 copies of this. You can see that one up there. And this is why keep records out of the reach of cats. Fucking, I can see it on the back too, I think. Right on Mike Patton's face. I'm not sure if it shows up on camera. But, yeah, it kind of sucks. But, also, got the Epic 7-inch right here. Which, never listened to it because, what's the point? What is it? It's got the side 2, Morning After, which is a decent song, but I don't know. If I want to listen to it, I'll just listen on Spotify. I won't drag this out. Angel Dust. I got the reissue on vinyl like a few months after I did the retrospective. And because I saw it for a decent price, which, here's how I buy vinyl. I shop basically in the bargain sections. I never pay full price, especially for 180 gram, just because it's so fucking expensive. And I like vinyl, but I don't like it that much. And I'd rather not go into debt buying records. But yeah, this is I listened to this once actually, because again, this is something I bought when I wasn't even really listening to records. Then when I got that set up, I listened to it once, but no, it's weird. It's a different track listing than not sure if they'll show up on camera. It's a different track listing than on CD. And also the third side, it's two records. The third side, well, like halfway through side 3, we get the Scream mix of Midlife Crisis, The World Is Yours outtake, and then some live shit, As the Worm Turns from Mike Patton, and I don't know, it's good, but by Crack Hitler, I stopped paying attention. So, and also Gatefold. So that's pretty cool. One of my favorite bands, Devo. Again, I have another copy of this album up there. Yeah, New Traditionalists, great one. Not my favorite Devo record, but you know, it's got Through Being Cool, Jerking Back and Forth, and Beautiful World. Beautiful World, that's a great song. Yeah, so great album. I want to do a retrospective of Devo one of these days, so that's something to come soon to look forward to. Aha, and my favorite Devo album, most people's favorite Devo album, Are We Not Men? We Are Devo. Wait, do I even got the right side? Same side, both sides, if you're unaware. Gut Feeling, Come Back Johnny, Shrivel Up, Praying Hands, Space Junk. Masterpiece. Great record. If you have yet to listen to this album, do so. I slept on Devo for way too long. Oh, this is a great album. Badlands. This is something Jakey Lee did after he got booted out of Ozzy. And Jakey Lee, low-key, is my favorite Ozzy guitar player. This is very rare to find. Like, because it's not in Prince anymore. It hasn't been in Prince for years. Because Ray Gillen was a naughty boy. Which, if you don't know about that, do your own research. It's a bit of an ordeal. So, it's hard to find even on CD, let alone on vinyl. And one thing I hate about it is there's like a moth ate through it or some shit right there, which sucks. But so Jakey Lee, Ray Gillen, who was in Black Sabbath for like a nanosecond, and Eric Singer before he joined Kiss. This is the best record he ever played on. Much better than any Kiss records. Just saying. Dirty Diana, Michael Jackson, 12-inch single. Look at Steve Stevens' hair. What the fuck? I thought my hair was ridiculous. But yeah, good song. Not much to say about it. Ha! Oh god, which one's this? This is the first Skid Row album. With no sleeve. I don't think I've ever should listen to it because I'm kind of scared of how bad a condition it's in. Though it's probably fine after a little bit of cleaning to get the dust off and shit. It's a good album, I guess, but not really in this form. Again, it was free. Can't complain. Human League. And yeah, I think I've heard it listened to once or twice. It's decent, good for synth pop kind of stuff. Not bad. It's not really my thing. Anvil. I don't care for this band. Another band I don't care. A lot of the records I have, I just don't really give a shit for. But yeah, this is in great condition. This is a Japanese pressing, I guess, just because of the Japanese Ubi strip, which is cool. Now, this is in great condition, just because I never play it. And I don't think the guy who had this before me had it either. And also, home taping is killing music. If only they knew. I like the documentary as much as the next guy, but Anvil aren't exactly not a great band. There's a reason people forgot about them. The Offspring Ignition. Oh, the Offspring are a band that people give a lot of shit for. Again, some of it's deserved, but their early stuff, like the Epitaph stuff, is super good. And some of the major label was good as well. But yeah, this album's really good. The first album's really good too, but I wasn't able to get that one. Session, We Are One, Dirty Magic. If you take nothing else in this video, listen to Dirty Magic. That's a great song. And the original version, they re-recorded it like a few years ago. Don't listen to that one. This version's much better. And Smash. Classic record. Everyone knows the single Self-Esteem, Come Out and Play. There's a lot of other great songs. Got Genocide, Nitro, Killboy Powerhead, What Happened to You, Bad Habit. Oh, Bad Habit's a great song. Great album that people only really pay attention to the singles, which is something to expect with these huge blockbuster selling records, but yeah. It's a great record. Now we have two Anthrax albums that I don't care for. And I don't hate Anthrax, like a lot of people do. I think they have some good stuff, but the ones I have aren't. State of Euphoria. Just boring. Don't really care for it. I think they're kind of treading on water by this point, because everything before this was pretty good. But was it Antisocial and Now It's Dark? Good song. There's some good stuff on it, but I don't know. Maybe I should listen to it again. I don't know. I might change my mind. And Persistence of Time. This gets me a lot of shit because a lot of people worship this record. I don't. But Got the Time's good. I think they tried too hard to be serious on this record. They're trying too hard to prove like, hey, we're just as good as Metallica, Megadeth, and Slayer, and they weren't. Know your place, Scotty, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show soundtrack. Don't really listen to this a whole lot, mainly because if I want to listen to any of these songs, I'll probably just watch the movie. Cool to have nonetheless. I mean, you know, I love the film, so got two Queen records. First, Night at the Opera. Someone put fucking duct tape on this. Wait, let me show it. Someone put fucking duct tape on it. Look, I can't even take it off because it just looks unsightly. Why? Again, got it free. Can't complain though. So, Night at the Opera, pretty good album. Not the huge Queen fan. I've said this before, but Death on Two Legs. Oh, that's a monster song. Prophet Song 39. It is good. It's a good record, but I'm not a huge fan of the show tunes. They're a bit terrible. And also, Gatefold. And I also own Date the Races. Not huge on this record, though it's in better condition than Night at the Opera. But, you know, it's Tie Your Mother Down and Somebody to Love. You know, good stuff on it, but I think it's a little too much filler for my liking. Gatefold. Better Gatefold than Night at the Opera, though. Now for Metallica, as of right now, like, not the last video, but one of the last videos, I have the Black Album. You can't tell when I have the fucking protective slip on it, just because it's literally looks like Smell the Glove. But you can kind of see a little bit of the Metallica logo. Can you see the no step on neck? Fuck you, son. You see the kinda from that angle. There you go. But yeah, great album though. I hate fucking Don't Tread on Me. That's a shitty song. Is this Gatefold? No, it isn't. But it's side 1, side 2, side 3, side 4. It's 4 records. So it sounds really good. So it's a bit annoying having to get up and change the record every 3 songs, but first world problems. Ride the Lightning, for the longest time, this is my favorite Metallica record. It still might be, but I think Master Puppets is objectively better. I don't know, when I made that ranking list, I was prepared to just put Ride Lightning on top, but then I kind of got the praise for Master Puppets a bit more than I usually did. I mean, I always loved it, but this was always my favorite, so yeah. Ride the Lightning. Oh, and I got this, the 7-inch. This came in like a Metal Hammer, like 10 years ago when they did their 30th anniversary shows, and a big Metal Hammer special came out, and it came with a 7-inch. And before I knew how to care for vinyl, so this is in really bad condition. Got So What with Animal from Anti-Nowhere League and a live version of Through the Never. I think I listened to this like once. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. Oh, this is funny. I got this from a thrift store because me and my mother went out to a cafe one morning just for the fuck of it. And this place had vinyl records all over the walls. And I saw this, The Four Moods of James Last. My name is James. So, both saw this, like, that's kind of funny. Then right afterwards, we went to a thrift store. And I found this. I found this just in their vinyl, which is, but I found this. I'm like, oh God, I want this. I've never listened to it. The Ramones, Too Tough to Die. Really great album. The mid to late 80s Ramones records, I think, are pretty underrated. People don't really talk about them that much. But this is a great record. Probably the best one they did during that time. It's Tommy Ramone came back to produce it. And this is I'm not sure if you can see it, but a promotional copy. So it's a promo copy that someone eventually sold. Yeah, fucking Daytime Dilemma. That's my favorite song of this. Great song. As well as like Mama's Boy and the title track. Really good album. I'd recommend it. Triple helping of Kiss. First up we have, these are all Kiss records from the 80s. I don't have any 70s Kiss records, which is funny. First one, Music from the Elder. It is a gatefold. This is the first vinyl record I ever bought for myself. Fun fact. Pretty cool gatefold right there. Again, I talked about these in the Kiss Worst to Best a good bit, but again, I kind of want to do a separate video about this. I alluded to it in the Kiss Worst to Best, but I really want to do that one these days. Just because I think this is a really underrated record, and it's really weird with a lot of history, which I like to do videos about. So, it's pretty cool. Again, the perils of buying vinyl online. This is, my other Kiss records are 180 gram. This is not. This is an original press. And, what? Someone put fucking tape there just because it broke off. Why not use a bit of glue? Gotta use fucking tape and ruin the sleeve? Fucking idiots. And as you can see, the track length is actually in order. Unlike a lot of Kiss records from that time. Kiss, Lick It Up. This is really good. This is probably my favorite out of the Kiss records I have. And Exciter, Not for the Innocents, All Hell's Breaking Loose. A really underrated album, A Million to One. People listen to the title track and think they get the idea of this album, but it's very... It's not... The title track doesn't really represent this album very well. If you want a good representation of this album, listen to Exciter. That really gives you an idea what this album's actually really about. Vicious Circle. Not the other Vicious Circle. I know there's a couple. I think Jack Grisham has one from TSOL, but this is like Australian crossover, hardcore kind of stuff. And this is 2 records. It's that one and that one. Reflections, The Price of Progress, and... Oh, no. One's called Reflections, the other one called The Price of Progress. Which is kind of weird, double vinyl thing, and it doesn't have the track listing anywhere. I had to look up the track listing when I listened to it, but yeah, good album, I think. Pretty decent record. I like it. Descendants, Hypercaphium Spasmate. Descendants, one of my favorite bands of all time. I've got that tattoo right there of I Don't Want to Grow Up. Not sure how I can see that. With it Smiles, good. I like Limiter, On Paper, Shameless Halo. Pretty good record overall. It's no Milo Goes to College. I do think it's a really good album. This is the last one they put out. I hope they put out more. Another triple helping of records. It's from Cheap Trick this time around. And funny enough, the Cheap Trick records I own, I have them in order of release. And so this is Dream Police. This is my favorite Cheap Trick record. It's got a gatefold, which is really cool. And yeah, like Cheap Trick had a weird rap. They're one of my favorite classic rock bands. Title track, Wave the World, Gonna Raise Hell, I'll Be With You Tonight, I Know What I Want. Really good stuff, really good power pop kind of stuff. I highly recommend Cheap Trick. I want to do a video about them one day. I just don't know what I would do. And we have All Shook Up? Yeah, All Shook Up. Which is the record they put out afterwards. Just kind of their start of their decline in popularity. Because this album's kind of weird. But, you know, I like it. I like it. It's not as good as Dream Police. I think it's a noticeable step down. But I still think it's a pretty good album. What's it? Oh, I can barely read it. Stop This Game. Just Got Back. Love Comes Tumbling Down. World's Greatest Lover. great record. I recommend it though. By the end, kind of goes off the deep end a bit with a couple of shitty tracks, but you know, they can't all be winners. Another one. This is continue their pattern of going downhill. What's this called? One on One. Well, this one's got If You Want My Love and She's Tight, which are great songs. I also like the title track, and it's a decent album, but I don't know, it leaves a lot lacking. I'll say that much. Another one I have just in the sleeve, or a protective thing. This is Blizzard of Oz. Not that you could tell. Look at that label. Jesus Christ. But yeah, Blizzard of Oz, great record, but again, I don't listen to this for the same reasons I gave for the Skid Row album I have. Rat, Invasion of Your Privacy. This is, and I like Rat a lot. Rat get a lot of shit, but I think they're really good. I think they're at least on par with Motley Crue, I think. Was it You're in Love, Lay It Down, Between the Eyes, What You Give Is What You Get. Really good album. Though again, it's a step down from their previous albums. Out of the Cellar. Out of the Cellar is really good. This is good, just not as good. More of a triple shot. This time around from Alice Cooper. And we got Welcome to My Nightmare, one of my favorite albums of all time. Love this thing. Every song, masterpiece. Masterpiece in every sense of the word. And Black Widow, title track, Devil's Food, years ago. Steven's so good. Great album. If you have yet to listen to this thing, do it. I mean, I made that retrospective years ago, but I still stand by most of what I said, even though I was a dumb fucking kiddywink. This apparently belonged to my grandfather, who I never met because he died before I was born. And he was a big fan of Alice Cooper. This is something he had. Alice Cooper's Greatest Hits came out in like 85 with a really bizarre album cover. Not a great look, Alice. There's 8 songs on each side, so it sounds kind of shitty. And it starts with Only Women Bleed. That's not... I mean, I love the song, but that's not a great starting. It's not a great opener. Goes to Hell. This album sucks. God, I haven't listened to this in years, but from what I remember, this is the worst Alice Cooper album. You might think, why do you have it? It was cheap and it's Alice Cooper. That's exactly why I bought it. But yeah, it's got some good stuff. The title track is amazing. And I could probably do listening to this again, giving it a shot, because I haven't listened to it since I did that retrospective. And I kind of just bought this just to have it, but not great from what I remember. Avoid this one. Split Enz Corroboree. This is from the New Wave band, New Zealand New Wave band, and something I think is kind of shitty about this. It's a good album, but they called it Corroboree in Australia, but everywhere else they called it Waiata, because Waiata is a Maori term for celebration. But Corroboree means basically the same thing, but in Aboriginal, which is the indigenous people of Australia and the Maori people and the indigenous people of New Zealand. So they called it Corroboree just here, which I don't really see the point. Just call it Waiata. I think it's a better name for it. One Step Ahead, Hard Act to Follow, History Never Repeats. Really good stuff. And something weird about this too is the record comes out the top. And the end label is at the bottom. Not that you could even see it. It's weird. It's the only record I have that's like that. Does anybody else have any records like this? Like old school records or something? It's interesting. Paul McCartney, Tug of War. This is a pretty good album, but I don't really like his take on like R&B and funk and shit. The songs with Stevie Wonder are kind of terrible. The rest of it's pretty good though. I have Iron Maiden. This is a weird, not even 7-inch, 10-inch of the reincarnation of Benjamin Brieg on clear vinyl, and the other side is a live version of The Trooper and Run to the Hills. I have yet to listen to this, though I'll say this much: this is one of the few things of vinyl I have that's clear, that's not black. I have like one other record that's colored. I'll talk about it when we get to it, and I've yet to listen to it because I don't like this. I don't like this song. I don't like Maiden when they reformed. I don't like the proggy shit. Just puts me to sleep. Then we have No Prayer for the Dying. I think this isn't a bad album. I think it's kind of underrated because this is right after Seventh Son. People like, oh, what, you went from Seventh Son to this, but I don't know, I kind of like it. This is like a Diano album, but with Bruce Dickinson singing, I think is a good way to put it. I don't know, it's kind of weird, because this is when Bruce's voice started to sound really shitty. And Paul Diano is my favorite era of Maiden, so, oh, that's a good one. Strung Out, Twisted by Design. This is a great album. Strung Out are like probably my favorite band on Fat Records, and this is when they really started to go into more of the metal side, the alternative side, you know, because they're mainly a punk rock band, and there's still a lot of punk on this album, but the riffs have a lot of metal influence, which is really cool. A lot of like down picking and alternate picking and weird sort of palm eating kind of stuff, which is really entertaining. I love it a lot. Exhumation of Virginia Madison, Mind of My Own, A Reason to Believe, Matchbook, Asking for the World. Great album. I highly recommend this and this band, but this album more so. If you want an album to maybe help you get into like 90s punk rock, can't do much worse than this. The Saints. Wait, what's it called? A Little Madness to Be Free. But yeah, this is actually pretty good. This is when they're starting to move away from punk rock and more into like just normal hard rock. And I think it's pretty decent, because as you guys know, the Saints were like the first Australian punk band. They came out before the Pistols and a little bit after the Ramones with I'm Stranded. If you want a good, look up I'm Stranded. That's a great song. And this is a pretty good album. Dexy's Midnight Runners, Tour IA. This is a pretty good album. Come on Eileen, everyone knows that song. And also Jackie Wilson said, because I was in the Young Ones, and I'll never hear that song. I can't help it. You know, get myself moving a bit, even though I know it's a cover from Van Morrison, but I like the Dexys Midnight Runners version better. I mean, even though this is a really good album. It's way different from just about everything else I own. There's like no electric guitar or distortion or anything, but it's weird for new wave, but that's what makes it unique, and I really enjoy this album. The Stranglers, Black and White. This is a really good band that I really should look more into. They're really different for a lot of other punk bands at the time. A lot of keyboards, a lot of very bass driven, which I enjoy. And what's a Toiler on the Sea? By the end, it also gets really kind of a lot of noise elements, which I enjoy. Yeah, I should look more into this band. But Black and White, good album from the Stranglers. The Boys, which is a Australian hard rock band. It's okay. It's not bad. Testaments, Souls of Black. This is a record that gets a lot of shit, because it was rushed, and you can definitely tell when listening to it, it doesn't sound as good as like the New Order and stuff, and some of the other records they made before and since. Face in the Sky, the title track, pretty good album. Testament, they're not an amazing band, but they usually always hit the spot. And Alex Skolnick, amazing guitar player. Aha! Finally getting to the big guns. What else can I say about this? Total masterpiece. And this is the reissue I have, and I have the my original pressing up there. The reissue, it's not like the shitty reissues that fucking Dave did in 2004. This is actually the original album, just remastered. Highly recommend this. I think it's like the Capitol something or other. The Capitol 35th anniversary or something like that. I can't quite remember. This is just a fucking pummeling all the way through. Sounds great. It's amazing. Best Megadeth record, in my opinion. Alright, so Black Sabbath. I got Paranoid, which is a reissue, and Gatefold. Let me open this up. Pretty damn cool. This is probably my favorite picture of Sabbath. And again, classic record. What can I say that hasn't already been said? Electric Funeral, Iron Man, Rat Salad, Ferris Wear Boots. Hand of Doom, come on. Planet Caravan's probably actually my favorite. And also, this is a blue record. It's the only colored vinyl I own. Besides that Maiden see-through. But yeah, not by design. I just don't really care for colored vinyl at all. Just a little bit of a gimmick. And I own no picture discs, because fuck picture discs. And then we have Born Again. This is one of my favorite Black Sabbath albums. It's when Ian Gillan joined for like 2 seconds. And besides that, the original lineup got Bill Ward and Geezer and of course Tony. A lot of people hate it because the production does kind of sound like shit, but the songs are great. Disturbing the Priest. Come on, look up Disturbing the Priest if you've never heard it. It's a great song. And as you may know, Stonehenge, partly responsible for Spinal Tap, so you have this album to thank. Alien Sex Fiend, which is like a weird sort of gothic post-punk band, which, yeah, they're kind of cool. This is a 12-inch of Dead and Buried, 12-inch single. And, I don't know, it's cool. I like it. Exploding White Mice, this is an Australian band. They're kind of like, they remind me of late 80s Ramones a bit, like Too Tough to Die, Halfway to Sanity, Brain Drain. They kind of remind me of that, with a little bit of the Saints and a little bit of AC/DC with some of the riffs. Pretty good thing, Exploding White Mice. And this is especially interesting because this is side 1 studio and side 2 is live. And it's got a cover of Alex Chilton, Bangkok, which is really interesting. That totally took me by surprise when I was listening to this the first time. I'm like, fucking Alex Chilton? All of a sudden, I'm just reading a book and I hear that. I'm like, holy fuck. Oh, God. The Sensuous Black Man. This is a porno record. Can't say much else. I put it on like once, and it's exactly what you expect. It's a funny thing to know, and I like it. We got The Residents, was it Third Reich and Roll? This fucking... I promise I'm not a Nazi. I'm not huge on it, just because I'm not huge on avant-garde. I like some experimental music, but that, again, it's got to have a foot in traditionalism, which this really doesn't. But, I don't know, I can see why people like it. We're on the home stretch, only got like 5 records left. And we got Motley Crue, a couple Motley Crue records. Too Fast for Love, great album. Live Wire, fuck, what else is on this? Too Fast for Love, On With The Show, fuck, it's probably my favorite Motley Crue song. Merry-Go-Round, Take Me to the Top. If nothing else, Come On Dance kind of sucks though. It's not perfect, but it is a really great album. If Motley Crue only ever released this album, I think they would get more credibility than they do. They kind of fucked it with some of the later records. But this is a great album. And from one album I love to something I don't. Dr. Feelgood. Not huge on this thing. It isn't that good. But the title track is good. Kickstart's okay. But besides that, just whatever. Just a lot of the songs kind of suck. She Goes Down, Time for Change, Without You, Slice of Your Pie, Sticky Sweet. Not great. Okay, then we have all my Beatles albums. I have three Beatles LPs. This is like this is weird. What is this? It's like, I don't even know what this is. This is a random compilation. It's got Hey Jude, Revolution number 9. Fuck. Lady Madonna, Rain. Some weird compilation. It's not even a best of because it doesn't have Yesterday or anything. But I don't know. Cool to have, I guess. Abbey Road, of course, amazing record, classic record, but I've yet to listen to this because it's in awful condition. Obviously, they didn't have a plastic slip around it, so it was just scratching up against the sleeve, but again, got it for free, can't complain, classic LP. This is my favorite Beatles thing that I own, the Essential Beatles, which is like, I mean, I'd argue it's not really essential. It's missing some songs. Like, how are you going to call yourself Essential Beatles when you don't have In My Life? Come on. It's got Obla Di Obla Da, Something, Penny Lane, Baby You're a Rich Man. I really love this thing. This is the first thing I listened to that really got me to appreciate the Beatles. Because before I listened to this, I didn't really. It's because it's not really something I grew up with, believe it or not. Like, I heard some stuff, but I grew up with, like, like Kiss, Motley Crue and stuff because my dad and my mother and shit. But the Beatles is something I had to discover on my own, if that makes any sense. And, yeah. And I really enjoy this. Then we have the 2 last ones, and one of my favorite bands of all time, Big Star. This is like the beginnings, basically, of alt rock and college rock and that kind of stuff, alternative, of what it started. These guys started it in the early 70s, basically just trying to, and that was their attempt at ripping off the Beatles, basically. Like, these are the American Beatles. People say Cheap Trick, Kiss, some other bands of the American Beatles. big star of the American Beatles. I mean, Feel, The Ballad of El Goodo, In the Street. Even if you're not aware of Big Star, you are aware of at least one of their songs, because In the Street was covered by Cheap Trick, and that was the intro for That 70s Show. But it was originally on this LP. This is just classic. Watch the Sunrise When My Baby's Beside Me. My Life is Right. Great album. Amazing. And last but not least, another Big Star album, Radio City. It's their second record. It's kind of when shit starts to go off the deep end. They only released 3 albums back in the day. And I want to get a copy of the third one too, but it's really hard to find. Oh, God, Oh My Soul, Life is White, What's Going On, Way Out West, You Get What You Deserve. Great fucking record. I love it so much. Again, this is a band I want to do a retrospective on one of these days, and it won't take too long. There's only like 4 records. They made 3 in their classic years and they made one like in 2004 or something when they reunited. I've actually yet to listen to that, so I have that to look forward to. So yeah, great band. So that was this whole fucking ordeal. Oh God, I've been filming for over an hour. God, my voice is dead. If you watched all the way through, holy shit, I hope you enjoyed it. Glad you made it all this way through. Click the links on screen for other videos or whatever. If you enjoyed this, I'll make I'll make one for my CDs if you give a shit. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and take it easy, party people.